How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. We are looking at another video by Tom Davis of Upstate Canine Academy, working with a border collie, I believe named Chase or something like that, and his, elderly owner. So he says this is how you train your reactive dog. So we already see, okay, so apparently, this dog is very reactive. He's a border collie. We see bright, big old eyes, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. He seemed nervous in the little intro here, but, he likes to play on emotion, so he has all this pretty music, in the background, and we see that this dog is already, whale eyes. She apparently used treat trainers in the past, but they didn't teach her how to get past the treat phase, or maybe she just didn't want to listen to what else they had to say. If you only ever get like one session with one person and they start talking about, okay, well, this is what we start with, and then you never continue with them, then you can't really blame the method or even the person if you don't listen and follow through. I'm not saying any of that happened. It doesn't matter. The dog doesn't care. The dog just care, they don't care what you try or what you want. They just care about what you do. So with that all being said, we're using this video as all videos under Fair Use Act for education criticism. I've gotten a couple of claims from him before, but I was able to fight them, because I am using this under Fair Use Act. I'm, stopping and changing and transforming and all that good stuff. So trying to talk about what the dog might be saying or what the dog might be seeing. So with all that being said, let's get started.
I call it dismantlement because that's kind of like what we're doing as the dog starts to build. We're dismantling.
So I do like that he allows the dog to just walk around and sniff. This is how I hold a leash with any dog ever. I mean, if it's a dog I don't know, I would probably have that in my hand, not necessarily around the wrist, in case they bolt. That can either slip off your hand or it can hurt your wrist. But this is how I work with any dog ever and how I usually interact with them. A loose leash. I don't care if they're reactive, if they're fearful, especially if they're fearful. I want to let them have room to walk and sniff, and I'm not about this like 2-inch leash, where you're holding the dog basically by their collar. I like to let these dogs, any dog I work with, have room to walk around and sniff. So that's excellent.
Mm-hmm. We're kind of unpacking a little bit on what he should do.
Yeah, yes, the dog is kind of pulling a little bit. I mean, I would probably work here and teach it, giving a little bit more pressure back so that the dog, seeing that they want to go sniff over here, I would apply just enough pressure back to where they move into the leash, and then I would hurry up and move over here so they can come sniff.
Alternatively, so some of the reactions will warrant a quick correction. The objective
so now we have tight little lead. He, dog is giving a lip lick, a little bit of anxiety. And when I work with dogs, I rarely hold on to their leash for long periods of time. I usually only ever hold on to the leash for a demonstration purpose to show how light I work when teaching pressure and release. If I'm teaching a dog to give in to pressure, I'm not going to be holding on to the dog the entire session because they're going to be nervous with me. I don't need to do that. I need to, I'm there to teach the owner how to work with their dog. And if the dog wants to stay with the owner, of course they're going to be more comfortable.
Simply walk by these dogs, hopefully on Saturday. You'll get to that point.
Again, back to being on a shorter lead.
Then
it's muscle memory for him to just be in so controlling. Having the dog right by his side. Like a 6-inch leash or maybe even a foot. If that. The dog is already showing signs of stress. This is kind of a stress pant right here. His lips are kind of curled back. We see the whites of the eyes.
Trying to figure out how to decrease
instead of allowing this dog to walk around and sniff like he did earlier, he could let him do that this whole time while he's talking to her.
Over his reaction. So as the dog starts to load on that thing in front, you do an inside turn.
That's not okay. We'll let him finish, and then I'll explain how I might do it. But I don't ever recommend just running into a dog.
Brace, good job, buddy.
Oh, his name is Brace.
You just cut back that way. Okay. Outside turn is this.
He's going to pop him.
Good. So it's just turning outside.
So I don't know if he changed the collar on the dog or not. The dog may have some kind of a star mark collar on, maybe a prong collar on, or he may have his regular.
And then
now he's already focused on the heel. I say this with, everybody. If your dog does not know how to walk on a loose leash without pulling, and they're reactive, don't even start working with other dogs and expecting the dog to heel. That is way too advanced of a behavior to teach and expect the dog to be in control, because you feel like when you have a dog in heel by your side or in a sit before you allow somebody to come pet them. You feel like you're in control, but really you're making the dog more vulnerable by forcing them into a sit before they get attention if they don't even want that. I would rather have a dog be loose and free and able to move around freely and move away from something that they're nervous about than force them to sit there and flood them and wait until the dog blows up and ends up biting someone. He's already bitten his owner from reactivity, so it sounds like redirection to me. But
You call, or I call it the drawback. Race, come. Good, yes. And this is where your payments will come in.
So yeah, but he's not actually paying him here. He's not using treats. I hate it so much when people do this. This is just tricking the dog. I mean, everybody wants to talk about treats being bribery. I mean, like, he's just tricking the dog. He's not even giving the dog, he could be reinforcing this behavior, but he's not going to because he doesn't use treats, because he is so stuck on just using correction.
Those are the 3 things that you can use to dismantle things.
Okay.
So I would say redirect the dog's attention.
Throughout the process, you're going to be blending in corrections. You're going to be blending
I don't agree with that. You don't need to do that, but
in also payments and rewards.
Also, I know it's sunny out here, but when you use sunglasses when working with a dog, it makes it very difficult for the dog to be able to, see your eyes and read what you're telling them. And I don't like to use sunglasses when I'm working with dogs, or I try not to. I try to be aware of that.
Throughout the process, it's a really quick switch. You're going to be saying, hey, let's do this. Good job. Nope, that's bad. Good job. Nope, that's
I don't agree with that. It's just too confusing, too much, too quick. I only ever want to use, I don't need to correct a dog to stop a behavior, because if I can just reinforce it, meaning taking time to reward it, when the dog is not reacting, then that makes the process so much quicker.
Now straighten yourself back out and heel. There you go.
So when he's looking and looking and looking.
So it's okay if the dog looks. He's teaching her to have this really tight leash. Maybe she already has it. I don't know. She's again, they're focusing on the heel and this and this and this and that. There's like 1,000 things going on. Just focus on teaching your dog heel in the first place. If your dog understands how to give to pressure anyway, very lightly, you're not trying to jerk or pop them. Work on heel, and then when they can do it, then you can start introducing another animal. But even so, the heel is not necessarily a helpful part of this situation. If I'm working with this dog here, and we have a dog and we know he's reactive, either the dog could be at the other end of this little fenced area, but I'm aware that the fence itself could cause barrier reactivity, even if we're over here, or if we have this guy at this end of the fence and another dog way over here, say 20, 30 yards, I would just have her walk up and down this way. And he can look at the other dog, and he can, try to smell the air, and I don't care what he does. I'm not going to ask him for any position or anything like that. He can look at the other dog, and I'm going to wait to see if he'll look away. If he starts staring at the dog, that's when I'm going to get his attention. Back away. I do like how he kind of starts to walk backwards, but I'll back away. I'll call his name. Maybe I'll toss a treat on the ground, and, the dog can go get that little treat, or if they look at me and they look away from the other dog, then we can start, reinforcing that. Then I will allow the dog to look at the other dog again, wait to see if he's going to look away. As soon as he does, mark and reward, and be really, really consistent with that at this distance.
Well, the duration of the look is going to predicate his bark, judging by what I've seen in this first session. I just
So he's doing great. He was doing really nice, soft and loose leash. She wasn't, overcorrecting or popping and all that. He has his little pouch here, but I don't think he's really going to use it much.
What some of this dismantlement can do, because now he's looking at the dog, making a good decision, getting paid.
Good, excellent. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need to speed up the process and force the dog, to make a reaction so you can correct it. That really just takes up more time. It slows the process down. And yes, this is a process, not an event. So people who want to make this an event where they come here for a day and they work with him for, 3 hours. I don't know how long they work. Spend thousands of dollars, work with a trainer for 3 or 4 hours or even 1 hour, whatever. And, by the end of that session, they're going to have, by 13-minute video, they're going to have a dog that was once reactive and now they're not. And it's just due to flooding. This dog just practiced this. I'm working with a couple with a pair of Great Pyrenees. I'm going to see if I can, get some of the sessions on camera. And if not, then I'm going to respect them. And, people can say, oh, you never show your work. Okay, whatever. A very reactive Pyrenees, that is there to guard goats. And he he protects the area even from his owner sometimes. So, but in that, you're not going to see me purposely setting the dog up to become reactive. This is all you need. Just reinforce this. Rewarding gets you get further with honey than you do vinegar.
Wait, now pay him.
Good.
So earlier you were talking about distracting him.
Yes.
She even could have just, rewarded him there for looking. If I have a dog that's really reactive, if they're just looking, but not, necessarily staring, I can reward there. If they don't look away within a couple of seconds, or there, if he's at that state where you can wait for him to look away, then you can reward. That was perfectly fine. Or if you have to get it, make a kissy noise like he's saying, get his attention, that's fine too.
That you had done before was he looked and you said, "Hey, look at me."
Yeah.
That doesn't help him learn.
No.
So
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that can certainly help him learn, but you have to, over time, you want to fade away from that. You want to proof the behavior. So, you can't blame the dog, and he doesn't need to be corrected because you only ever trained him one way, that you only look away when I put a piece of food right in front of your face. I'm not saying that's what the other trainer told her to do or anything like that. A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's always the other trainer. It's the other trainer. I've had so many owners that have told me that when it's really the owners that are the issue. I'm not saying anything personal against this lady. I'm just saying that's just what I hear from my own experience. So yes, you start there if you have to, but if you have to put a piece of food in front of your dog's face when they're staring, then you're probably too close. So I would say move back, create more distance.
we're doing is he looks just like this. Wait. If he makes it, now pay him. That's a good
Excellent. So see, he has the ability to be a great positive reinforcement trainer. And he doesn't have to use this correction nonsense. In my mind, it's nonsense. Because it's not necessary. You know, anybody can use corrections with dogs. He has good timing, really good timing. I'll even say great timing in being able to reward this dog as soon as he looks away. So why do you use corrections? Because it's easier, because it's quicker, because you can, I mean, it's, in the end, it's easier. Because a lot of people, you know, I'm not saying her specifically, but just a lot of owners have been, you know, humans in general, especially over the last few generations, have been, you know, we've been so spoiled with quick results. We have a short time, you know, attention span. You know, we want things quick, and we're becoming just entitled and spoiled. And the poor animals are the ones that have to pay for it.
It was his decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, look what I have.
Okay.
And that's okay too. I mean, I see where he's coming from. You know, if you only ever do that, then yes, that would be like, I would say maybe borderline bribery. But I mean, hey, I'd still rather that. You know, I'm a snack leader, not a pack leader. Okay, so here we have.
Okay, so decisions were made there.
So let's start a little bit right here. Okay, so he's got really excited.
Me, buddy. Good boy.
So what happened, though, to get him to this point? Does this dog have a different collar on? Does it have a prong collar on? Does it have a, you know, did he pop the dog a few times before this? Like, how long has he been working with this dog?
Sit.
Okay, so he does have a prong collar on, and he's choking this dog, and there's another dog over here, I'm sure, with an E-collar or whatever. And people are going to see this as impressive. This is so unnecessary. But, by all means, if you want to go check him out, check him out. Apparently he's in London. I don't know. He's doing his tour or whatever. You can subscribe to him. By all means, I will never tell you not to. I just don't agree with this. I don't recommend this. Ouch.
Okay, break.
So he couldn't get him to sit. And on camera, he's not going to keep popping the dog like he may or may not off camera. I'm not saying he does. I don't know. I don't know what he does off camera. I don't trust anything any other trainer does off camera when they use corrections. That's just me. That's my own little trust issue. But he tried to sit. He couldn't get the sit for, you know, the sake of the camera or time or whatever. We don't know that he wouldn't have continued correcting.
Boy. Yes. Good. So decision.
So he marked twice, but he didn't reward. He said yes, and then he moved away. Yes, and then he moved away. Whereas previously, you know, he would say yes and reward with a treat.
Made there. I kind of weaned off the obedience just for 1 second because I wanted.
He also weaned off of the actual reward too.
See what he would do. Mainly because if I needed to prepare myself for a reaction, I could. But also, it was a good experience.
And the fact that this dog is so in tune with him, he doesn't tell you he has a prong collar on the dog. And this dog is super in tune to him wherever he moves. He doesn't show you or tell you how long he's been working with this dog, how many pops or corrections it got to get it to really focus on him. I mean, it's a border collie. They're really easy. They're very soft, sensitive dogs. When I say soft, I mean, they're not like, they're very sensitive in temperament. They're not a Shiba or a Husky or a Chow Chow that would fight back more, They don't have as much of an attitude when it comes to, like, corrections like this.
It's for him to...
And that's just my opinion.
Some reactions only stem from frustration and...
So this dog is really focused on something else. He's ignoring this dog. So, again, what happened between the cuts? How long has this dog been here? Is it, it looks like it's panting. It's a little bit, it's pretty warm out, I imagine. So this dog could be tired from that.
And leashes, and once you get him close...
Dog almost looks like they're trying to avoid this area. They look like they're trying to avoid the, either the dog or him, or maybe they're trying to get in shade. Maybe they're burning their feet. Any temperature above 75 degrees. It's like on the black pavement like this, it can be 125 degrees, and that can start, cooking their little foot pads and burning. So always be aware of that when you're working in the sun. I'm glad that he took his sunglasses off, but I mean that's just that.
Because that.
So again, he's forcing this dog to be here. We have this little closed mouth.
Danger.
So he's watching the dog with this 2 massive collars on. Good Lord, dude. At least better fit them or take it off this poor dog. So here is where he's watching, and that exact moment when he started giving a hard stare, I would bend down and start backing away and calling the dog to me. And if I can't get his attention there, then I would walk him away. If I had to pull him away, then I would. But I also wouldn't be here in the same session. I wouldn't expect to be here, especially not with a barrier. I would wait until the dog is really a lot more comfortable, and I would have him on a harness, and I wouldn't, or a flat collar, a flat buckle collar, but I wouldn't be worried about, correcting the dog.
Suspicion of what they are goes away.
So there, he did terrific. He went over and looked at this dog, could care less about him, or maybe it's being told to care less about him because of a shock collar, whatever, I don't know. But the dog is moving away, so he moved away. Excellent moment to really celebrate and reward. Unless you want to keep the energy down, because energy can, if you get really excited, this dog can get a little amped up. It can call this dog over. We want to be careful about that. But he could have rewarded him there. Let's see if he does.
And especially if he has...
No, he doesn't. Absolutely no reward. He wears his little stupid-ass treat pouch, and it's not stupid-ass because it's a treat pouch. It's because he wears it, but he never uses treats. I love my treat pouch. Like I said, I'm a snack leader, not a pack leader. Join the Fanny Pack Club, everybody, but only if you're really going to use it. They just do this to make it look like, oh, look, he's positive. No, he's not. So, great moment there of anything to reward him. If you're ever going to use a treat, that was the moment to do it, but he doesn't.
You got to remember, cut him off, bring him back.
Ouch.
So the other thing that you can do...
He doesn't tell you when he backs away, he pops the leash, or he pops the collar. The dog runs into the collar, which is the prong collar. I don't like walking into a dog like that. I don't like making them, fearful of quick movements. I want my dog to know exactly what I'm going to do before I do it.
To help with this reaction is to just do some engagement skills. So I got a little bit of food here. Now watch.
But he's literally just faking the dog out. He's not even giving him any food.
Just kind of keep him on me. So what you can...
Dude, if anything is bribery, this is bribery. But he doesn't even get the treat. He's faking him out, and then when he moves away because he says, screw you, he's got whale eyes, he's going to pop him. Yeah. That's not even fair. Good. He's still not treating him. He's just faking him out.
Yeah, you're just keeping him engaged.
Wow, great job, dude. You suck. You're literally just faking the dog out. The dog doesn't even get, maybe but a grain of rice, size treat from you. I didn't see him give him any treats. He was just faking him out because he's so controlling that I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, that was this one. This is not how I believe you train a reactive dog. And I specialize in them. I work with them all the time. Alright, anyway, that's this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you got something from this. Be sure to go say hi to your little critters. Give them some kind of loving for me. And until next time, stay positive.